Hello, my darlings. Happy full moon in Aquarius. I am actually really excited about this one. I think it's going to be a powerful full moon that we can utilize for our most authentic timeline. We can give a lot to the moon for this one. And so today is a completely free day for me. I've been up since 2. I know we're all exhausted, and I was putting my face on to go to one of my favorite cafes. It's going to drive to Ipswich and go to Little Wolf. And I was putting my face on, and I've been writing, I posted on Substack this morning. It was a good day. It was a good day. And so I was putting my face on, and I was like, I'm so grateful, to have a full free day. I speak about that in my Substack article, so definitely the link is below to Substack. What do I call it? From corporate to clairvoyant. It's that one, depending on when you're watching this. And I was putting my face on. I was like, girl, you got an RBF to boot. You got to record this video before you leave the house. So, like the title of this video states, and for my subscribers that have been around for a while, remember when I used to swear like a sailor? I know. I don't swear anymore. I'll just spell the word out. So it's RBF is a resting face. And so I don't know if you've ever had an Aquarius judge you. I saw my nephew yesterday, and he's an Aquarius sun and an Aquarius moon with a Gemini rising. And when he's 7, and when he's judging, he was like, no. There's one time a few years ago, I'll never forget. We were leaving, and we were doing hugs and kisses and goodbyes and stuff like that. And I gave him a hug, and then I did the rounds, and then I wanted him to be my last hug. I was like, can I have another hug? And he's like, no, I already gave you one. I was like, pardon me, young sir, pardon me. What was I thinking? So it's a lot of what we're going to be feeling. And if this is your first time here at my multidimensional cafe, welcome. My name is Sarah. I am a channel. I channel information I go right to source energy, and my messages are here for the collective. I integrate, I kind of feel like the phrase that, I really like, because I mean, if you've been here for a while, I've changed my title thousands of times, but I feel like a welcome wagon for a lot of people for their spiritual awakening or helping them integrate spiritual practices into their life. And we integrate metaphysical practices into your leadership growth and development toolbox, and I offer you here at the cafe a really safe space to express yourself. We speak from I statements around here. Everyone is welcome to share. My foundation is just honesty and respect, and we speak from I statements. So you're welcome to share your perspective and opinion. We're not here to change anyone's opinion. I'm sorry, my hair is everywhere. I'm here to offer you information. I'm going to utilize the lens. We speak in lenses because these big old glasses. I'm going to view this full moon, obviously, through the lens of astrology today. And we're going to try to understand a little bit of what this spiritual woo-woo jargon means and what you might be feeling. And so when I ask my guides, and just so you know, before we get started, when I'm talking to you, I do very quantum work. So I have baseline 3. It was 3 when I said that. I have baseline 3 universes going on at the same time. So I talk to you, and then I have my guides show me an image here, and then there's usually a past life image over here. And I just I'm exhausted. So I've got so many different tabs open, and it's the music's playing. It's Whitney Houston's going on. I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. It's just going off somewhere. Some universe I'm singing that. But not here. She's got the Johnny Cash voice. Hey, get a rhythm. When you get the blues, come on and get a rhythm. This is what happens when Sarah gets exhausted. But I'm regressing. Reel it in. So when I asked my guides what message, going into this channel, going into this recording, what would be advantageous for us to kind of know is the phrase, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And we're going to talk again about sleeper cells and reminding ourselves that we all have them as human beings. If you're here on the planet, you have a sleeper cell, you have preferences. So I'll get us going right off the back. So we are consciousness running these human avatars, these meat suits, these beautiful meat suits. So Sarah, the human avatar, has her preferences. She really loves black coffee. She really loves a naturally processed, chocolatey, sometimes honey coffee. She does not like a high acidity. So like Colombian coffees are usually not my favorite. Ethiopians I really love. Nepalese coffees, but naturally processed or like honey processed coffees are like, that's why I'm going to Little Wolf. I really love Italian coffee as well, like a dark roast Italian. But for some reason, French coffee sometimes don't really, or French roast isn't really. Sometimes, depends on how you're serving it. So those are my preferences. So around this time of the full moon, we'll get into the dates, and then we're going to get into some tarot, and I'll put the astrology up because there's 2 T-squares going on. So we have a lot to unpack today. So if someone was to offer me around this full moon, say I didn't have this language and I didn't have the language of a growth mindset, say, you know, don't say anything in this, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. If I didn't have this language, we're going to offer 2 perspectives. And someone offered me a Colombian medium roast coffee. And I'd be like, what is wrong with you? That is the worst coffee that exists in this world. Like, the only good coffee is this coffee, naturally processed, blah, 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 blah. I can't, what? You like a light roast? That's ridiculous. That doesn't, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. No, the only world is my world, and that's absolutely wrong. With this language, with this understanding, I'll just be able to say, somebody offers me a medium roast Colombian coffee, I'll be saying, oh no, thank you. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of it. End the video right now. I'm just kidding. So, okay, I'm going to give you, let's pause the video. I don't even know if I have anything to pause the video. I have hundreds of things on the table, but I'm trying to think of like, what do you want my tape? I don't like this. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing it. I'm going to bring my candle. Pause the video, go grab your journal, coffee, tea, some water, and we're going to talk about astrology and this full moon in Aquarius coming up later. Pause the video, go grab your thing. My sticky shoes, why you stick on me, baby. I know, I'm delusional today. I'm loving the voice. I don't even care. It's early in the morning and I'm going with it. So, the dates of this full moon. The 19th of August for Eastern Standard Time. I only had coffee today. Pardon me if you can hear my belly grumbling. Is happening at 14:25. The 20th of August for the Gold Coast in Australia, 4:25. Central Standard Time, the 19th of August, 13:25. I'm teaching you military time. It's a beautiful thing. So we're going to, again, look at this as lenses. This happens, full moons are when, what do we know about full moons already? It's when the sun and the moon are complete opposition to each other and the complete opposite point in the sky. I'll place them down so we can start. There's so many things happening, and we're going to get into the 2 T-squares because I want you to see that. So this behind me, I'll introduce, is the general astrological wheel. Starts in Aries and goes all the way around over to Pisces. The planets that I have already on the board are the ones that are not making an aspect to each other. And so a few weeks ago, I forget what video it was where this like analogy came to my mind, I really loved it, is that when planets are making an aspect to each other, it's kind of like that's a team. Like imagine like you're playing Red Rover. I know it came to me like 2 weeks later. And you're in the backyard and you're like, you have the sun and the moon and Uranus and kind of Mercury on one team. And then you have Jupiter and Saturn and Mars, or pardon me, Jupiter, Saturn and Venus on another team, but they're kind of battling it out together. It's all these little like sub-compartments and all these little things that are going on. And like the description states, my voice and looking into my bug eyes, it's meant to unlock codes within you. I know the temperature just dropped, so I actually have the windows open and the gulls are expressing themselves. It was super rainy and it was just nice to cool down the apartment without the air conditioner. So I just wanted to highlight that. So if you hear, Pleasant Street chit chatter, that's why. And what was I saying? It's gone. Astrology, superpowers, lenses. Oh, if you ever feel like what I'm saying is going over your head, A, just listen and process and go with it, and B, know that I'm creating a self-mastery program for you. It's going to be a digital download available on the 2nd of September, where after you really integrate that program and understand fundamental metaphysical practices, all of my videos are going to make so much more sense. If you want some very accessible information on just the lens of astrology, the chart reading foundations is for you, as well as the how to follow the moon product is for you. Those are listed in the description of this video. So tons of resources for you. A much bigger, more efficient program is coming for you. It's going to be a 6-week program, but now I'm just calling it 6 chapters, just a fundamental metaphysical practices to make your your awakening so much more efficient. And by the end of it, you're going to understand so much more of this, as well as to understand like what tools are for you and what aren't for you. So, okay, I think that's enough information. Let's get into the astrology. So, we have the sun over here in Leo at 27 degrees. We have the moon in Aquarius at 27 degrees. Full opposition of each other. What do we already know about full moons? Everybody becomes the werewolf. Everybody is a little bit wild, cuckoo pants. The way to utilize this energy, the way to harness a full moon is to end a cycle, celebrate something, really give it over to the moon. The how to follow the moon, I have a very practical full moon release technique that you could do. I want to highlight this is happening on a Monday or a Tuesday if you're in Australia. I'm taking this day off from my 3D job. I'm literally just letting myself howl at the moon for this one. The sleeper cells and stuff like that. We all have them. We'll get into it. So Sarah, you'd mentioned a T-square. What does that mean? So a T-square, what do we know about squares? Let's, again, a lens. A square in astrology is like you come up to an intersection and you butt heads with somebody. One person's got to move for the other to go away. And so our T-square, our first T-square, I know, dude, is Uranus in Taurus. I'm going to move your chair super duper quick. Oh, before I get into that, North Node is in Aries, Chiron retrograde in Aries, South Node is in Libra, and Lilith is in Libra. I have in my longer range transit playlist, I have a whole playlist on the North Node and the South Node. This has been happening for a while. I also have in the playlist the toolbox, relationships are drastically changing. That has a lot to do with the North Node and the South Node. The North Node is going to go into Pisces in January of 2025. So that's going to be a whole new theme going into next year. I know for so many of my entrepreneurs, so many people with a growth mindset, we're focused on like how we can really harness 2024. But a lot of people are already looking to 2025 and what the theme of that year is. So I'm going to plant that seed that the North Node in Pisces, North Node, our collective head of the dragon, our destiny, what we're going into. And the South Node is going to be in Virgo, releasing. It's kind of old past life karmic things. So we've had lens, North Node in Aries, individual, the leader, the infant baby ram, my storefront view of my life. Everybody has a side hustle. Everybody is an entrepreneur. If you don't, and that's triggering to you, I need you to look at that right now. It's Mercury retrograde. It's the perfect time to unpack why you feel so behind and know that you're not behind, know that you're right on time. And then the South Node is over here in Libra, where a lot of relationships are changing, some codependent patterns are changing, liars are kind of coming to the surface like a big old pimple that needs to be popped, and we're really just trusting our instincts and gut. North Node is going into our house of soul purpose, and the South Node will be going into our house of everyday life and practical service, what we do every day. So this is an astrological validation. My belly is grumbling. I apologize if anyone can hear it. It's just literally like my body is saying. It happens sometimes if you're ever in a healing session and your body is like going cuckoo pants, just know that the energy is flowing through you. So like that's also a validation. But know that this is an astrological validation that what you're meant to do in this world and what you're not meant to do in this world, 2025 might be your year. I have a whole video, 2024 to 2027. I'll put the link below. And one of my dear friends and light workers, she had got this download, 2025, it's time to thrive. So like, get ready. I just needed to say that because I was like, oh, this is exciting. So it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about today, but just like a nice preview. If you feel like you're alone in the dark and lost in your own rocky montage right now, keep focusing on the bigger image. Go read my Substack article. I'm From Corporate to Clairvoyant. I speak very vulnerably in it. And we talk about how right now it's time to let certain things just die and never come to fruition and fail, for lack of a better term. But we're transmuting failure and we're rebranding it to a pivot. I know, I put a picture in there, so good. So let's get back to the T-square. Sun, moon, opposition. We know what that means. T-square, or pardon me, square. We know what that means. So Uranus, we'll now look at this as the lens of Uranus. Uranus is our galactic lightning bolt, awakening planet. It's very quantum what I'm about to say. I haven't yet recorded my, oh, never mind, doesn't matter, never mind. I was gonna talk about my Mars Jupiter conjunction, but it's not Uranus. I know, I'm tired, my apologies. I just have like the sunroof of my body open to God, and I kind of like sometimes feel like the dude in Ghostbusters 2 when he opens his eyes and it's just like light going everywhere. Amazing stuff. So Uranus, our collective awakening planet, lightning bolt energy. This being in the sign of Taurus is about values, money, access to resources, what we value. This is also has a lot to do, Uranus transforming, Taurus, agriculture. Taurus is fixed negative earth energy. So this is a lot to do with why people are growing food, why there's a manipulation on food going on hypothetically, and just so many different things, So Uranus squaring the opposition of the full moon. We're putting all these lenses, it's a thick, thick lens in front of us. Uranus in Taurus, opposed or in square to this full moon energy. Yeah, we're going to be energized and want to express ourselves. That's Mars over here in Gemini. I have resources for you on Mars and Gemini, definitely so. I'll put those below. I'll put the video below, and in the video links to an article. So I've hours of Sarah for you, hours of Sarah. That has to do with Jupiter, but that's a part of the next T-square. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So what do we also know about pressure? That's how diamonds are made. Like, it's a beautiful thing to be able to harness your mental agility right now and bite your tongue until it bleeds. I don't care how triggered you are. I don't care if a flag or something just is like, invokes the sleeper cell in you. What's a sleeper cell, Sarah? You've mentioned that a few times and we haven't really talked about that. It's kind of like the Agent Smith from the Matrix, where it's like, you don't have the same ideology as I do. I need to teach you. I need to teach you why you're wrong, why you're killing the planet, why all of the reasons that you are not a nice person anymore because you believe that. You're so wrong because you're this or this or this or this. You are not, we're not a vibrational match anymore. I have to teach you. We talked about the icy spicy. We talked about so many different things going on. So that's how we're going to be feeling. I myself live in the United States right now, and the pimple is actively popping. It is almost impossible to have a conversation with someone that maybe has a different ideology than you. It's very interesting because, you know, I just love a good soap opera, and I know it's a good soap opera. I talk to angels and aliens and multidimensional quantum beings for a living, so I know and stay within my neutrality, to use Elizabeth April terminology. Like, it's not just her terminology, but I'm just saying that, like, staying neutral. You're like, yeah, it just doesn't affect my life. I just don't, no, it's totally okay. Like there's a person that does the maintenance on the house that I live in and some of the houses next door, and he's fascinated by me. He's, you know, like very, very passionate about his politics and his political views. And sometimes I'm just like, dude, I can't get into it. And he's like, you really don't care, do you? it really doesn't affect you. It's like, nope, it really doesn't. It just doesn't affect my life. And I just, that's not my paradigm. That's not my reality. I'm happy to listen and let you express yourself. I thought I felt an ant. There's so many beautiful ants that are my dear friends that live in this home. They're really special. And, but I was like, yeah, it just doesn't affect my day-to-day life. And I'm, staying neutral. I don't see that in the future. I don't see that like really incredibly polarity-based reality where there's like a fight on this, like it's just like perpetuating the fight. So it's like, I get it. I see that, but I'm happy to listen to you express yourself and to share with me what you're passionate about. Like, that's amazing. And I appreciate that. So that's the point of view I would love us to have. I really want you to check in with yourself before you engage in any dialogue during this time period, especially around the full moon. Anyone who works in the industry, anyone who works corporate, anyone who has to engage in sales or working in any capacity with the general public, you bite your tongue. You bite your tongue and you do not utilize this energy for your soapbox. You sit down and you just observe and you say, that's interesting. Thank you for sharing. You can sometimes say that's not my reality, but it might not always be safe, because if your sleeper cell is going off, just know that their sleeper cell is going off. So it's really, I had some local people to Gloucester whom I really love, whether it be blue collar, white collar, fishermen, artists, whomever. They have this language. Everybody believes in the woo-woo, or grandma believed in the woo-woo, so they believe in the woo-woo, or they've seen aliens or angels, whatever it may be. And they're like, so Sarah, I'm not supposed to leave the house, or I'm not supposed to talk to anybody. It's like, no, you check in with your gut and say, is this person open to receiving, my dialogue? Is this person open to having a respectful conversation, a debate, if you will? Because if not, just listen and think about what you're going to have for lunch later while you're listening. Your face will know what to do. Yeah. So check in with yourself. That's the best way to utilize this energy. And maybe this is coming to me right now. I'm having a full body chill. Maybe releasing judgments during this time period. Maybe that can be something that you release during this full moon. Find out exactly where 27 degrees of Aquarius is falling in your chart, what planets it's aspecting, all different things. And really go back to, because it has to do with the second house. This is the general wheel. So if you don't know the time of your birth, you're using this general wheel. If you do, obviously go off the rising sign and then place these planets down. But Taurus is about values. What are your values? Top 5. And then before you say anything, check in with those values. And if kindness or respect or honesty is one of your top 5 values, like it is for me, just listen, just hold space. So okay. We have an honorable mention of, because all of these aspects, these 2 T-squares, I'm about to talk about the other one, are happening by degree, 27, 27, and 27. Mercury is only an honorable mention because this is at 26 degrees of Leo. And definitely go back and watch my Leo season introduction to talk about the vibe of Leo, because really, this is about creativity, play, joy, childlike spirits, creative expression. They're very bold and very confident and very powerful beings. Aquarius is community, friendships, and wishes for the future. They want to burn the system to the ground and just live a community-based life where everybody gets treated and paid appropriately. They literally get it. Any Aquarius, they literally just get it. They just get it. So Mercury retrograde over here in Leo. We've talked about Mercury retrograde. We're in the Mercury retrograde. We've discussed it so many times on my YouTube channel. What was it? The Monday video, which you can tell it's the Monday video because my, the picture is tilted to the side. It's like we're exhausted in a Mercury retrograde. Watch that video. That Monday Substack, like infinite resources for you. So we're just off by degree over here. So know that what you try to say will probably be misconstrued. And this is a big deal, what I'm about to say. Really ask yourself in every conversation, are you listening to the person talking, or are you waiting for your opportunity to respond and tell your own story? I love you. Okay, so I'm just going to place these two down so we understand it. We have Pluto retrograde over here at 0 degrees of Aquarius, and we have Neptune retrograde over here at 29 degrees of Pisces. They've been making a sextile for a while. That's just been going on. I'm just putting it down as honorable mention. The next T-square is the bigger one that I want to talk about, but this is just top down, getting destroyed. Neptune literally sitting off by degree on like the last sign of the entire zodiac. So 2025 is such a big year. I know a lot of people said 2024 is a big year, but it's just going to kind of like oomph up for a while. So that's why I say that I'm here for leaders. My content and my channeling is here for everybody, but leaders with a growth mindset, as well as entrepreneurs and those that are basically creating companies and doing things that they've never done before. Yeah, I'm here to help you. This is no accident. So what you're feeling right now, I'm offering you the validation of the astrology. I love astrology because it's really just math, history, and patterns. It really is. We're almost a half hour in, so why don't we just take a water break for a moment? Oh my God. I stopped trying to like fall back asleep. I gave myself maybe a half an hour of attempting. I was like, you're awake, girl. Just be awake when you're awake and sleep when it's time to sleep. The most intense naps I've ever had. Like, I can't wait for my nap today. I just can't wait. I just can't wait. All right, so my guys are highlighting the tarot before I get into the last T-square to kind of mix it up a little bit. I also want to highlight that this introductory video is a part of a 3-video workshop, which is my new moon and full moon workshops. All of these are completely donation based. The links are below for donation. If anything that I ever teach you is resonating, every little bit of my donations is getting me to the summit of greatness. I'm going to put the link to Lewis Howes. I'm so excited. I haven't traveled since 2019, and I feel like this is about to unlock something really special for me. But please also comment below if you're going to be there. I would love to connect. If anyone who watches my content is going to be at the Summit of Greatness in California, September 2024, it'd be so cool to meet you in person. I'd love that. Have some coffee with you in person. Okie dokie, let's do the tarot really quick, and then we're going to talk about the Jupiter, Saturn, Venus T-square. So this is the Aquarius major arcana. And I also want to highlight that the link is below for my Tarot Essentials digital program that I've created for you. It's whether you're a novice, whether you're really new and you're just kind of putting new reference tools in your toolbox. I have so many different hours of information within that digital product. And one of my favorite ones is my introduction to the 78. I go over every single card in the deck. This deck specifically, my interpretation of it, how to read them. We talk about reversals, all different things. So it's a really great accessible tool as you're integrating tarot into your daily practice. So I want to offer the full moon, the oppositions. So this is Leo, this is Aquarius. Very different divine feminine vibrations. Yeah, this is in juxtaposition of each other. This is polarity. This and this, they're not getting along. They're not getting along. And so this represents 20 to 29, 30 degrees of Leo, and this represents 20 to 29 degrees of Aquarius. See how different these vibrations are. One is in an advantageous position, standing up for himself, really doing the deep work and diving into it. He's able to really handle what's happening, where this dude is like, I'm taking my money, take the money and run. He can't even keep all the swords. He can't even, like, it's kind of like he's making, this is very South Node, you know, in Libra type of a vibration for me. This could also be like really high power, functioning intellectual thinking. If you want to use different decks interpretations, not this one, but it's like very lone wolf when you can't even handle all the swords. These are in opposition to each other. Cool. Alrighty, Reenie Rooney. So now, this is where I was saying is going to be super quantum, because I have an entire all signs reading for the Jupiter-Mars conjunction that's coming up, but I haven't recorded it yet, but it's probably going to post either close to this being posted or day of, so I'm just going to say that that's there. Jupiter is in Gemini at 17 degrees, right over here. Saturn is squaring that, 17 degrees Pisces, right over here. Venus is in Virgo. Wait. Yeah, 18 degrees over here. So Venus squaring Jupiter, Jupiter squaring Saturn, and Saturn in opposition of Venus. I'm listening to my guides, and it's not my favorite thing that I want to say, but I'm going to say it. I feel like a lot of people are going to be like snapping and cutting people out of their lives, just being like, you don't believe in what I believe in, I'm never speaking to you again. And whether that's whatever my ego has judged in that moment, in the dramatization, to be like, oh, they're unconscious, they're doing this, whatever that may be, I just have a feeling that that's going to happen. This could be people popping off at work. This could be people, you know, Jupiter abundance squaring Venus in my everyday life. This could be people literally like losing their jobs because they speak out of line. Like, you reel in that in a teenager. You reel them in and you take them out to dinner. You cook them a steak, whatever you got to do, but you reel them in. Reel them in. I'm listening to my guides. Hold on for 1 second. Okay, so this is a little bit more intense than I thought was ever going to come through. So this is not like a prediction. This is just, I'm just giving information as to like what the energy is saying, what my guides are saying. Sometimes when it's really heavy hitting and when it has to do with really heavy subjects, I'm like, oh geez, do I tell him that? So Venus in our house of everyday life and practical service. This is also the health axis over here. Venus is our yin planet. Saturn is our interdisciplinarian planet. With that alone, basically, like, I'm seeing people have maybe physical ailments, maybe, you know, they're yelling and then they have like some heart issues, or, you know, you're getting in car accidents, you know, this is like actual like life-changing Jupiter expansion energy, maybe, but a lot of the times for a lot of people, this is, you know, health issues. When they buckle you, you're like, oh, I got to change my ways. Oh yeah, I don't want to die. I don't want anything bad to happen to me. I will change my ways because of this. So that's kind of what my guides were showing, that really let people have the emotional reactions that they're going to have, whether it's to you or to, you know, someone else. And just let them be, and don't pity them ever. We never pity people ever, because that's a judgment. That's saying I'm better than you. Everyone is literally in the reality of their choosing, or else they would be in a different reality. I don't make up the laws to this universe. That's literally just the laws of this universe, is that we create our reality with our thoughts, words, actions, and intentions. So if you are actively focusing on a paradigm and you're working towards it and you're going towards it and you're like focused on it at all times, then live in that vibration. We know that. But if someone is living in a reality that maybe they complain about, that's one of the most dangerous types of people in this world is, and I think it was the holistic psychologist that said it, or it was like, no, it was not. It was from like the Montauk Effect Instagram page. This was a while ago, that it said like the most dangerous type of person that you can be around is someone that complains about something that they themselves created. Yeah, the complainers of the world, no ma'am, no sir, no thank you, absolutely not. We're done with that. We are adults. And that is a Lazarus practice. I'll put the link to his page below, which is some mirror work. One specific thing to do, you know, get yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of water and sit in front of the mirror and recognize that you're an adult and you're the only person responsible for your life. Yeah, nothing that has happened to you, it's all either from a spiritual perspective, a soul contract, anything, like you're the only one responsible. You're an adult. You can say, I'm an adult. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for every aspect of it. Every single component of my reality I'm responsible for. And you look into your own eyes until you believe it. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. So Jupiter-Mars conjunction, I'll have a video on that. In the longer range transit playlist, I have 2 videos on Jupiter and Gemini. So one is an introduction, one is an all signs reading, hours of information there. This is expansive communication. So it kind of highlights that like spiciness that my guides were really just referencing, and just so let people be. I also love the fact that like, I love that we mentioned the North Node and the South Node going into Pisces and Virgo. So you can kind of get to know Virgo. I have a whole article on my Substack on Venus and Virgo, which this is really practical ways of loving up on. Actually, one of my subscribers, you have your natal Venus and Virgo, you're gonna have a Venus return. This could be that time. This could be that time, you know who I'm talking to. So this is an exciting time where our everyday life and practical service kind of makes some shifts. Or maybe because Mercury is retrograde and a little bit of a part of this full moon, we can release patterns, daily habits, eating habits, all different things that don't serve us. We're looking to the master plan right now with Mercury retrograde. My, channeled message from the last new moon in Leo, it was the angels that came through. They talked about the 5-year plan. I've heard so many other people saying that August is about the 5-year plan. Like, I'll put Elizabeth April's page because I've mentioned her twice. She spoke that August is about really rebranding the 5-year plan. And this is the perfect time for us to release. Like we talked about in the new moon in Leo, which was about leisure and play strategies. We talked during that new moon in a very quantum way, which was about what does our future selves, the one that we're becoming, that we focus on in the mirror, what do they do for play? How do they celebrate that moment where you do get that offering, where you do get to hop paradigms, where you do get to leave behind what's really sucking you dry in the paradigm that you're in right now? How does that person celebrate? What do they do for leisure? What do they do for fun? I want you to celebrate this full moon. I really want you to dance under the full moon. I want you doing a full moon release technique. I want you doing some sort of woo-woo, something that completes a cycle. Maybe you haven't celebrated in a while and you didn't understand that celebration is a practical way of utilizing the flow of the moon. So new moons, when we start something, full moons are where we end it. Like we get every single month, we get a full moon cycle. For ladies, you understand your cycle. You have the 4 phases of your cycle. You understand that. But for men, beginning, middle, new moon, manifest. Actually, I'm not going to repeat everything that, like the new how to work with the moon, the digital download. I have 4 videos for you. It's a very accessible price point. How to basically the week of the new moon, the week between new moon and full moon, the week after the full moon, and the week between the full moon, or the week of the full moon. You know what I mean. I'm tired. My apologies. How to work with the moon. That digital product is for you. And the self-mastery program will have links to basically every single one of my products. So you can, bundle it all together, and you'll be able to have access to pretty much as many tools as I can offer you will be a part of that mastery program, self-mastery. It's a good time. Okie dokie. So how does your future you celebrate? What do you do? Do you dance? Are you artistic? Oh, that's what I wanted to show you. So if we don't celebrate, celebration is the completion of a cycle. If we just go from task to task to task to task to task, even in a day, that's going up or down in energy. You have to. That's why like 26 minutes, I was like, let's take a pause. Let's take a sip of water. Even in productivity language, it's the Brendan Burchard language. I put on 53-minute timers. By 55 minutes, I'm like, what am I going to eat? You can't just sit and learn 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 and learn. You got to give your brain the chance to like process and digest all that information. Yeah, we're processing so much energy in one day. Just the food that we eat. It's from over here, it's from over here, it's from over here. I'm watching videos from Australia, from over here, from over here. I'm seeing this, oh, I have a memory that popped up, so I'm ingesting content from, 1996 or blah, blah, blah. It's not from obviously 1996, but you know what I'm saying. So I would take some time around this full moon to celebrate, maybe take yourself out to dinner, maybe get some takeaway, maybe cook something at home. That's been very healing for me. Give yourself a bath, go for a walk in the woods, spend time with your family, your VIPs, the important people, and the God of your understanding. Yeah, a few days after this, we're going into Virgo season. That video is going to be called Manners Matter. I know, from the RBF to Manners Matter. And then the new moon in Virgo, and then we're starting eclipse season next month. Yeah. Next week, so this full moon is on 19/20. Next week on the 28th is when Mercury goes direct. We're all going to feel refreshed. We're all going to feel so much better. Even if you don't do any techniques, you'll still feel a little bit refreshed. Even if you don't do any of the things that I told you, just maybe make some mental notes. What are some habits that you can release that don't really get you to your future image? If we know that our trajectory is based on our thoughts, words, actions, and intentions, and if we are not in the perfect paradigm that we want for ourselves and the entire world, then maybe some tweaks and changes could be advantageous. They could be helpful. Could be. Take what resonates with you and don't take the rest. Literally, everything that I say, every bit of spirituality, every bit of this entire planet is a cafeteria line. I want you to take what resonates and don't sit there and stare at the Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts. And be like, my mom made me sit at the table and eat Brussels sprouts when I was a kid, and I hate Brussels sprouts. You don't just stand there in the middle of the cafeteria line. You move it along. You move it along. You're at a wedding. You just continue to eat your food. So I think that's it. Oh, let me see if my guides have anything specific. They're saying no, just do some journaling. It's funny, they're standing there, they're like, you give them so much, they can watch the other videos, and it's very much, they live into us too. They live into this too. So take some time, journal, really process what you want to give up, what planets are being aspected, how is this happening for you, how are you feeling this energy? I have a full body chill, even my guides, because I'm like, you're not going to give them anything? And they're like, we're being respectful for how much work, Sarah, you do. And literally my full body, I'm just so grateful. And I try to be as helpful as I possibly can for all of you. I hope you know how much I care about your path and how much I want you to win. I hope you know that I'm constantly rooting for you. This changed my life. That's what my self-mastery program is. Learning this language literally changed my life. It helps with my anxiety. It helps me understand why I contracted certain things. It helped me understand literally all of the voices in my head. I can't explain enough how understanding these fundamental metaphysical practices help you focus, help you get back on track to what you're meant to do. I love you so much. What questions do you have for me? As always, comment them below, or if you don't feel comfortable and confident to share them with your group, you can absolutely send me an email. My email address is listed below. Right now, my rates are at my friends and family rate, which is $144 for a session. I am changing my rates on September 2nd, the day that my program launches, and they're just going to be at that rate. That's accessible for me, and I'm going to have a single rate and a double, if you buy one session or if you buy two sessions, there'll be a different rate. I'm in my Substack article that I just wrote explains a lot more. I'm really understanding what this Mercury retrograde is, showing me and I'm utilizing this energy. So I'm not going to speak too much about what it is that I'm shifting and changing. Just know that my offerings, like things that were mentioned, I'm not going to offer anymore. I'm just going to take that as like, I'm not going down that path anymore. And certain things that I will be offering, I want to make sustainable so that I can keep in my vibration to offer you as much as I can during this time. So right alongside you. Oh, also, because my rates are changing September 2nd, all my current clients are locked in at the rate they originally book at. All of my clients. So if you're booking in August, you stay at the 144 rate. If you book after September 2nd, it will be my new rate moving forward. Cool. Happy full moon. I'll see you in the all signs reading as well as the channeled message. And as always, these videos are donation based. So if you have the capacity to give back, most of what I'm receiving right now, if not all of what I'm receiving, is just getting me to the summit of greatness. And I'm so excited about that. I can't wait to be in that room for 2 days in California. Ciao, my dears.